got the red, white, blue, flying high on the farm. Semper Fi tattooed on his left arm. Spent a little more in the store for a tag. In the back it says USA. He won't buy nothing and he can't fix. With WD-40 and a Craftsman wrench, he ain't French or dust. He's just made in America.
Welcome to the Costa Mesa Pettis Perspective. Thanks for watching. This is episode 15 tonight. And tonight we're going to talk about One Metro West and within the context of Measure Y. And what I want to do is I want to do this in kind of a general overview of it. I'm saying that because it occurred to me, especially thinking back to when I was running for council last time, that you get used to, as a council person or a candidate, you get asked lots of questions about your positions on policy, lots of questions about specific initiatives that are coming up or initiatives that had occurred in the past. So I got really used to being in the weeds with everything, getting real detailed, and the people that are most vocal online or in the forums are the ones that have a lot of knowledge about all the ins and outs of local politics, policy making initiatives. And what I forget a lot, and it wasn't so long ago, that not everybody is versed down to the weeds like that. I mean, some of this stuff gets pretty detailed and weedy, and people throw around acronyms and I realize when I talk to people in my everyday life, most people don't think that much about these things. They think about them in general ways. It's important to them and what's happening in the city, but they don't think about the little nuances. So what I wanted to do tonight was talk about what's happening with One Metro West and with Measure Y in a way that, because I've had several people lately ask me like what my thoughts are, like is this happening, or what, isn't Measure Y just going to make it happen? And so what I thought I'd do is just talk about it in general. So what happened at the council meeting last Tuesday, I'm a day late on my normal video time frame right now. So a couple days ago, Tuesday, the council meeting went, most of it was taken up with the One Metro West discussion. They had the applicant, as they call it, which is Rose, the developer, which is Rose Equities, the firm that's wanting to build on the One Metro West site, where they're making their final case to the city council. So the council vote on Tuesday basically is the council, and I'm saying this in a general way, it was 5-1 with Harper no, Harland recused. He recused himself because he was on the planning commission when they first approved the project. But this is there might be one more procedural vote in next month in council, but pretty much this was the last vote. The council saying, yes, let's move forward. And so that's that. And it's so the council is saying yes. Now the question is, what next? So Measure Y is, excuse my notes here, I have to be sure I'm speaking correctly. It was passed in 2016, and it stipulates developments that would both require changes to the city zoning code or general plan and meet at least one of a host of other requirements, including containing 40 or more residential units, adding 10,000 square feet or more of commercial space, or generating more than 200 average daily vehicle trips to be put before voters on the upcoming election. So this project is definitely more than 10,000, or adding 10,000 square feet or more of commercial space. That's in that project, other than the residential. So it meets, these are all the things that in 2016, we voted in, I think it was 65% margin. The city of Costa Mesa said, we want Measure Y. So Measure Y says if there's these projects put forth that meet these criteria that I just read to you, then that project needs to be voted on. Okay, so now the citizens of Costa Mesa under Measure Y are going to have the opportunity to say yay or nay to One Metro West. Even though the council's already approved it, now it's up to the voters. So when will it be voted on? Is like people ask me, well, when is this going to happen? There's two ways. So normally it's it's the next election that's to take place. This initiative, One Metro West, would under Measure Y would be on that ballot. So the 2022 election's coming up. Now it could also be that if there was an agreement between City Council and the developer, and they were both agreed that they would have a special election just for this project, then the developer would have to foot every penny of the bill for that election. But I don't believe a special election. I haven't heard any whispers about that. I believe that this One Metro West will be on the ballot in the 2022 next city elections. So Measure Y, One Metro triggered Measure Y. Measure Y, it'll be on the ballot. Measure Y is voted on in 2022. And my concern, brings me to the concerns that I've had related to this whole thing. It's not, do I think we need more apartments? It's not, do I think we need more affordable housing? I think the answer is we need more housing. We need more affordable housing. But this project isn't something that I was in favor of or against on the merits. My thing was I want to make sure that the citizens of Costa Mesa under Measure Y are understanding, and the actual project, when it goes on the ballot for Measure Y, is written exactly how it's supposed to be written so the citizens understand exactly what's happening. And why does that worry me? Well, we've seen in the past with other initiatives in California. I think back to the bullet train. There's ways these things are written and the idea in writing them is to elicit a certain response from the voting public. So it could be flowery language saying, this isn't an actual initiative, but like, hey, if you want to be safe and you want the firefighters to come put out the fires and you want the policemen to stop the bad guys, you better vote for this tax increase. And it really has nothing to do with police and fire. It could be money for something completely different, but it was written in such a way in that particular initiative that it sounds like it's for that. So that's what I'm talking about here. That's a very real possibility. And one of the reasons in this particular case for One Metro Measure Y that I'm concerned is because there was an attempt, I think it was in May of 2020, not an attempt, there was some discussion in City Council about, hey, should we amend Measure Y to make it easier? So should we amend Measure Y so we can loosen up the restrictions that Measure Y puts forth in order to get the project built? So they're saying, can we make it have to do with affordable housing? Is there a way we can use that to loosen up the restrictions to make it easier to get One Metro West done? So that was not done. Thank goodness they didn't move forward with that. It was talked about in 2020 in May. I think the one dissenting person was Sandy Guinness, but they thought better of it and they decided not to do it. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because there was already kind of an attempt made to play with Measure Y and the language on this project. And what that tells me is there's a yearning for certain people to want to tweak this thing before it gets to the 2022 election. So my overarching concern for this whole thing, again, I'm going to repeat it, and I'm going to say it a bunch of times, it's not project bad, must not do, or project great, must do. It's project is happening. Voters need to know exactly what's happening, see it on Measure Y, and then the voters can decide yes or no. It's as simple as that for me. And I hope this cleared up. I just wanted it to be understood by the people that are watching and the people that might not be doing this every day of their life to see kind of how the sausage is made. It's a little ugly sometimes, and people get really passionate about things, but at the end of the day, it's about you guys, the voting public. It's up to you guys. And I will be keeping an eye on this thing going forward and doing everything I can to make sure it's a clear picture for the voters. The most important thing is be kind to yourself, be good to each other. Together we can get it done. Bye for now.